and get us really close to our total goal today of $25,000. Over 100 donors have donated today to help us get to that mark. So we are super close getting to that 20,000. If you can help us out and get us there, we'll unlock that board boost. Let's take a look and see who has donated here in just the last hour. A big thank you to Peg Crittenden, the DeKalb Confectionery, one of our wonderful neighbors here, and I believe, check out on social media, we've got a wonderful quote from them that they shared with us when they made their donation. Thank you to Joan Emerson, Alex Hanold, Paul and Marianne Holcomb, and my parents, Kev and Nan Nerad. Kevin and Nan Nerad, a huge thank you for their wonderful donation today. So awesome to see all these donors coming in, helping support the Egyptian Theater. We've still got till midnight tonight for donations to come in. And our special guest this hour is actually over on campus at Northern Illinois University. Janine's over there right now at the Northern Star with a very special guest that we're excited to interview. So we've got the signal here. Janine's ready to go, so we're going to send it on over to Janine with Parker Otto over at NIU.
Thank you so much, Alex. And I am here at the Northern Star with our next special guest, Parker Otto. Parker, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you just tell me a little about yourself and your relationship with the Egyptian Theater?
Well, yes, my name is Parker Otto, and I'm a student at NIU studying communications with an emphasis in media studies and filmmaking, minoring in journalism, and I've been with the Northern Star for the past 8 semesters.
8 semesters. I feel when I just started at the Egyptian, you were a freshman and you came to review some of our films. Can you talk a little bit about starting NIU as a freshman and introducing yourself to the Egyptian Theater?
Well, I knew I wanted to get a lot of experience in both media production and journalism, so I reached out for any opportunity possible, and a friend of mine mentioned Northern Star, so within a week of signing up, I thought the Egyptian Theater would be a really cool place to do some coverage because of all the events you guys were hosting throughout the semesters. And then my editor at the time said, well, there's a Richard Jenkins Film Festival in honor of Oscar-nominated actor Richard Jenkins, a DeKalb native, and it's happening every week. I need someone to cover that as their beat. Can you do it? And I said, sure. So every Wednesday, I just would go to the Egyptian Theater, see a movie, write about it, and that's basically led me to where I am now.
And you do a fabulous job reviewing movies. I mean, we're a little biased because we are showing the films, but you got to interview Richard, didn't you, at the theater building, yeah?
Yeah, I did. My editor at the time and was going to interview them for their article about him, and they wanted me to come along since I had done a lot of coverage, and plus it would be a good experience for me as a young upcoming journalist, and that is still one of the best experiences I've ever had as a journalist. I mean, how often do you review a 2-time Oscar-nominated actor?
Yeah, how was it? Was that intimidating? Was he a kind man?
Oh, he's very humble, which was a lot of fun. It felt just like talking to a normal guy instead of like a Joaquin Phoenix or a Jared Leto, like someone who knows that they're famous, whereas Richard Jenkins, he's very humble with his fame.
Yeah, it was very interesting. When he showed the final film that he was here with Shape of Water, he actually went to Pizza Villa and made a pizza during the movie. You're like, you're Richard Jenkins, right? But your relationship with the theater didn't stop just with writing, film critiques and film reviews. You went on to actually be in our Rocky Horror Picture Cast, right?
Yeah, I did. It was, how I got involved with that was very strange because my first editor at the time, they were involved in Rocky Horror, and they told me about it during my job interview. And I thought, well, that sounds really cool. And there was a showing the next week, and I thought, well, I'm going to go see my editor. And there's my editor in Rocky Horror. I think to myself, oh, wow, our working relationship is over, basically. But no, it actually, I joined the cast later that semester after seeing every show that you guys hosted. And basically, it's been a part of my life just as long as the Northern Star. And in many ways, it has just brought me closer to this community.
Well, we love having that. And you had mentioned that you grew up, in a community in Champaign-Urbana that has a local theater, the Virginia. So what has it meant to your college career to have a, local theater like the Egyptian in your life?
Well, I'm a huge fan of film and film history, and film palaces like the Egyptian Theater and the Virginia Theater, they don't really exist anymore. They're a rarity, so you gotta treasure the ones that you got. And what I love so much about the Egyptian Theater is that it takes so much pride in being a staple of DeKalb and also just hosting as many great events as possible, not just films, but also live musical acts, Rocky Horror, as well as opening itself up to the community for film shoots and local groups to perform music. Just basically, it's a community staple.
Well, we always feel so humbled when we hear people say that. We think that that's what we try to communicate as much as we can, that this is everyone's Egyptian theater. We just happen to be the stewards in this time and place. But you said filmmaking, and that's something that is the next step for you, is making a film at the Egyptian theater. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we shot scenes for a film at the Egyptian Theater on April 18th, and being in that theater is just amazing, especially when you're working with a camera crew. It feels like you're not a student making films. It feels like you are a legitimate filmmaker, which, for the purposes of my film, was very encouraging.
Yeah, and we always love to have different activities inside the Egyptian. So from Rocky Horror to movies to making your own movie, why should, on a day like today with Give to DeKalb County, what would your takeaway be, or your pitch to our audience? Why should they invest in the arts and places like the Egyptian Theater in our community?
Well, before the pandemic happened, you guys hosted a 35mm film series.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing 2001: Space Odyssey, Casablanca, but there was this one screen that really stuck out to me. It was a 35mm print of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on beautiful Technicolor. And right in front of me was this mother and this little girl, and the little girl was wearing a Snow White cosplay. And I thought to myself, okay, this place is super important, and by God, if I have kids, I'm going to make sure that they love a film so much that they will cosplay when we go see it live. I think moments like that really make the Egyptian Theater special to the people of DeKalb. It's a place that people can go to, not just to see any film or any show. You guys have incredible quality and are, I would say, when it comes to film and musical acts, you know what the people want. You know that they want the best, and you give it to them.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. It's been so great to get to know you for the past 4 years of your collegiate career. So what's next for you?
Well, I plan on moving out to New York City and working my way up through the film industry and independent journalism.
So maybe we could have a Parker Otto film series in the future?
I would love that. I would love that. I have to make a few more films first, but we'll get to work on that.
Well, thank you. It's been so great to get to know you. The pieces you've written on the Egyptian Theater are fantastic. We'll put them up for you guys to read through. The one about your first time at the Egyptian Theater brought tears to our eyes. So it's so great to have you, for the past 4 years be here, and thank you for your kind words today. So we're going to send it back to the studio with Alex.
Thank you so much, Janine, and thank you to Parker. We've absolutely loved working with him during his career at the Northern Star, and wish him well in his adventures ahead. I believe he's heading off to New York City, so very exciting to hear that. Congrats to him, and we absolutely love our relationship with NIU, and it's always fun, whether it's interns working with reporters on campus and all of the other departments that we collaborate with every single year. So just a wonderful little glimpse into one of the many relationships we have with Northern Illinois University. So that's going to wrap up for this hour. We're at $19,948. We are so close to that goal of $20,000. Again, when we get to $20,000, that will unlock our board boost, which will unlock an additional $3,500 that will get added to this and get us that much closer to our daily goal today of $25,000. So we've still got plenty of time ahead of us. You've got till midnight tonight to donate online at lightscameradonate.org. Remember, every donation made today through that website is proportionally matched by a bonus pool of over $155,000. So your donation today goes even further with that. So exciting day. We've still got some great interviews ahead of us. A lot going on here at the Egyptian Theater, and we'll see you here at the next hour.